Hello everyone, welcome to the Witching Hour. If you are new here, my channel revolves around discussing fantasy and science fiction shows and movies. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I am finally doing my review and recap of The Witcher Season 1, Episode 8 from Netflix, titled Much More. And it was much more. It was the perfect ending to the first season. I cannot think of one thing I would have changed. It all came together like a perfectly baked apple pie. I can't wait to see what happens next, so needless to say, December 17th can't get here fast enough. Now from this point forward, I'll be recapping the episode. If you haven't seen this episode, what the heck are you waiting for? Turn this video off and watch The Witcher. The mages, including Yennefer, are all traveling by boat to Sodden Hill to try and cut off Nilfgaard on their way to overtaking the other kingdoms on the continent. The people around Sodden Hill, along with the mages, have come together to try and prepare for the upcoming battle with Nilfgaard. They continue well into the night, many enjoying one last meal before the darkness of battle comes for them. Yennefer and Tissaia have some ale and have a philosophical conversation about death and legacies to leave behind. Part of Nilfgaard's army are nearby. Cahir, one of his advisors, and Fringilla are discussing strategy, when Cahir decides to throw the Brotherhood a surprise party and test their abilities during the night. Fringilla begins hurling firebombs at them. The thing with these firebombs is that each one requires the extinguishing of one of their mages' lives. It's obvious that Nilfgaard nor Fringilla could give two shits about the mages they have drafted. Many of the Brotherhood flee during the Fiery Nights events, which leaves them with just over 20 mages to fight against Nilfgaard when the sun rises. One of Nilfgaard's mages begins spreading fog throughout the woods and all the way up to the keep, which provides cover for the troops. The battle starts off okay for the Brotherhood. Triss is able to create mushrooms that let out a poisonous gas and kills several soldiers. Another mage is able to magically choke the life out of more soldiers. Some mages shoot arrows with an acidic compound that if it gets on the skin of the soldiers, it burns them. Then Vigilforts fights Cahir in hand-to-hand combat. There appears to be a familiarity between the two of them, but either way, Vigilforts gets his ass handed to him and winds up falling down a hillside and hitting his head. Cahir is frustrated with how well the Brotherhood is defending the keep, which puts more pressure on Fringilla. She makes a portal that the soldiers shoot their arrows through. When they come out near the keep, they kill several people. Tissaia goes to confront Fringilla, but Fringilla doesn't have time for her, so she just tosses some black powder in her face, which seems to paralyze her. One of Fringilla's mages had carried a small container into the keep where he fades to dust, but she's later able to open the container with her mind, and it's filled with these little mind worms. Meanwhile, there's chaos inside and outside the keep. Mages are being slaughtered left and right. The mind worms infect some kids and Sabrina. Sabrina tries to kill Yennefer. She actually ends up stabbing her in the gut, and the boys start dropping the acid bombs inside the keep. Yennefer stumbles over the dead and the wounded, looking for any mages that can still fight. She's not ready to give up, but Fringilla tries to manipulate Yennefer with her unending need for power and promises beyond anything she's known. Yennefer ignores her and keeps searching for someone who can help her in her fight against Nilfgaard. Vigilfort survived his tumble down the hill, and surprise, surprise, he bashes one of his brethren in the head a few times. He's clearly a double agent. Yennefer is still searching for Tissaia, who is barely clinging to life, but manages to pick herself up off the ground and limp her way towards Yennefer. Yennefer finally finds her near death, but Tissaia tells her that she can end the battle. She tells her to let her chaos explode. And that's exactly what Yennefer does. She burns it all to the ground. The end of her storyline in this episode leaves a scorched countryside and Yennefer missing. Ciri is still in the field. She comes to after magically killing the men that had tried to harm her the night before. She's being woke up by Zola, the woman that tried to help her in the village the day before. Yeah, the same woman that Ciri stole her horse, which is now dead because of Ciri's magic. The woman still takes her home to keep her safe. Ciri is at Zola's home with her son, and she is understandably standoffish. She doesn't know who she can trust anymore. While they are talking, they hear the beginnings of the battle between Nilfgaard and the Brotherhood. Zola tries to comfort Ciri about the battle. They can hear raging not so far off, but Ciri knows that they are really looking for her. But Zola basically offers to adopt Ciri as her daughter and thinks that that's why destiny has brought them together. Okay, now I'm going to go back to Geralt, who is actually where the story begins in this episode, but because of the way the story ended, I wanted to do his last. So Geralt starts this episode at Cintra looking for clues of where Ciri may be in the war-torn city. He travels through the refugee camp where the slaughter had previously taken place and meets Jurga, played by Francis McGee, who has a list of acting credits a mile long. And you may recognize him as Yoren in Game of Thrones. I'm a huge fan of his and will watch just about anything he's in. Jurga gets attacked by ghouls that crawl out of the ground. Geralt saves him, and in the process of fighting them, he gets bit and then passes out due to the infection in the bite. So Jurga puts Geralt on the back of his wagon and takes him towards his home. Geralt is in a total state of delirium and is having visions of his childhood and even the Golden Dragon. Geralt becomes conscious for a little while and can hear the bombs from the battle at Sodden. He realizes how sick he is, so he takes a potion and pours some of it on his leg wound. He quickly falls back into his delirious state and has more visions of his mother. During this vision, we see the day that she abandoned Geralt and left him without a word to go live with Vesemir. Geralt is awakened from his delirium by his mother, who is treating him for his bite. He's understandably angry with her for abandoning him with Vesemir all those years ago, but she tells him that he must find what he has lost, and she was just a dream. He comes to and asks Jurga where the woman is, but he basically tells him there was no woman, only him calling out for different women. Jurga tells Geralt he is unable to repay him for saving his life, but he can offer him the Law of Surprise, which Geralt is like, how about a nail instead? The two of them arrive at Jurga's home, where his wife, Sola, runs out to meet him, and she starts telling him about this girl she met in the woods. So Geralt takes off to the woods, where eventually we see Ciri running towards Geralt. I still get chill bumps, and I still get watery every time I see that sign. I couldn't have asked for a more perfect ending to a season finale. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you like this episode? Is there anything you would have changed? Are you excited for the next season? And don't forget, if you like this episode, please give it a big thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel. Have a great day.